Did she hear me?
Yes, the recording button is on now. So good evening, everyone. It's LuAnn B. and Lori Beekler Vogel, and we are your hosts this evening to talk about our transformational treks and how to prepare for joining us on one of our journeys. And with us this evening are two of our participants for our upcoming September 2018 Transformational Trek, Kate Vogel and Rosine Anderson. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So Lori says Vogel Conference. That would be my sister Lori, who, going through my passion test process, discovered that she wanted to take women on adventure trips. And I said, pick me. Let's go together. And that's what created our Transformational Treks. And this evening, we're using this opportunity to, again, advance our upcoming participants in helping them prepare for our trip. So Lori is, by the way, dubbed our wilderness guide, and I am your spiritual wilderness guide. So Lori's going to do most of the talking tonight, even though I started things off, and I'm recording this for our website. So Lori, take it away.
That means I get to tell LuAnn what to do. That's what I like about this show. So this trip we're going on right now is going to be very unique because we actually have people from 5 states. And myself and Rosine, wave Rosine, are the Wisconsin contingent. And Katie, North Carolina. Yeah. And then LuAnn's the Minnesota gal. And then we have 2 women coming in from Colorado. And their names are Julie and Roxana. So you guys can start at least hearing about who's going to be with you. And then we have 2 women from California, which is pretty unique, but they're really Katie's cousins and kind of my cousins too, since Kate's my sister-in-law. So it's pretty exciting. And that's Marika and Callie. So I'm sure they'll be watching this video sometime this week. So hi guys, hi Marika and Callie and Julie and Roxana. So I want to just tell you a quick little thing. I'm really focusing today on our trip. So if it's not going to be that generic. We're really talking about September in the Boundary Waters. Okay. And I wanted to tell you guys we're going on a kind of a cool tour that we actually have done before. And we get a boat towing us in, which we're not really in our canoes at that time. They're above our heads in this boat. But we get a ride to where we're going to start. And that's kind of a nice way to do it because then you already get out there in the wilderness and you're not just starting out right from the dock feeling like you have a slow time getting away from the original outfitter. So we're going to be towed up to what's called Red Rocks Bay, and at that point we'll start. And we're dreaming about sunshine, but it often rains, so that'd be okay too. This week, the temperatures I checked are highs in the high 60s, low 70s, and the nighttime temperatures are there are a couple 40s this week. So that's what I would expect for us in that same range. It will kind of continue through September. But you can check, and if anybody wants to check the weather as we're getting closer, or you can just leave it and just pretend it's going to be beautiful the whole time.
Set the intention that it will be beautiful the whole time.
Right. But anyway, check Ely, Minnesota, ELY. We talk about that we're going to be going to Grand Marais and we're going to be on the Gunflint Trail. But because Ely is inland, speaking of Lake Superior, our weather is not close to Grand Marais. Our weather is closer to what Ely would have at their weather station. So if anybody out there wants to check that. Next thing I want to talk about is what everybody has to do first, and that's the packing. I'm ultimately going to go over our gear list, but it's not on the top of my list because I definitely want to make sure we spend time on these first couple things so you understand the bigger picture, you've already been studying your gear list, but we'll go through that one more time just and see if there's any questions. In terms of packing, I've got packs set up, Duluth packs that are set up so you're going to all be sharing. There'll be 2 of you per pack. And that's what we've been doing. And that is based on who that your tent partner is going to be. And I want to let you know who that is going to be right now. So LuAnn and I have been debating. Rosine was going to sleep with me. And then LuAnn was going to sleep in the 4-person tent, which you're going to be in, Katie. And the 4-person tent, 1 person has to be kind of away from the door. Otherwise, 3 people have their feet by the door. 1 person has to be at the back, which I've done a number of times. But LuAnn says she has to go to the bathroom every night in the middle of the night. And I really have figured this out, so I don't do that. So, Rosine, therefore, you're going to sleep with LuAnn because it'll be much easier for her to get in and out.
Because we'll be in a 2-person tent.
Yeah, and you'll have nice space and luxury.
Is that cool?
That's fine with me.
It'll be like the blondes. Well, we don't know. There might be more blondes. No. So anyway, Katie, we're going to have a 4-person tent that we own, and the cousins, well, it'll be all the 4 cousins that'll be in that tent. As long as that lasts, unless we want to do a trade out, like, because, you know, I don't know, Rosine and LuAnn get in a fight or something.
No such thing.
But we always can do a trade out.
And then the 2 ladies from Colorado are going to be in another tent.
Yeah, and then we have another 2-person tent. So
Yeah.
we'll bring 3 tents all together. So I'm going to have LuAnn and Rosine, then we'll pack in the same pack. And they'll have, LuAnn was able to get everything in that pack, right? You guys had your 2 sleeping bags, your 2 sleeping pads, and all your personal gear in that pack.
Yep. We did on the last trip we took in August.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's this other pack that kind of has fishing gear in it that LuAnn kind of bleeds into as well. We've noticed many times.
Just accept it. It's mine.
Yeah. So you got an extra little spot too. Then, Katie, you're going to share with Callie, because I think you and Callie and I should pack on Thursday.
Yeah.
And that way, you and Callie and I can all, well, and LuAnn too, of course, can all help the other people when we're up at the outfitters.
Sure.
We get up there, we try to, what?
I was going to say, so typically what we've done historically is we've given people the list and some basics, and then we have them bring everything to the cabin up at the outfitters, and then the first night is we go through things, and Lori goes, yep, you want to take that. No, you don't want to take that. Yep, that's good. Da, da, da. And then we repack everything and we get them in the packs. And then whatever people don't take, we just put in the cars and lock it in there, you know. So it's okay to bring more things if you want to ask questions.
If you can fit them in the pack.
Well, no. If you want to ask questions of Lori personally, and then we can always leave them in the car, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, and that's the bottom line.
Oh, bring it with you as we go up north, because if we have room for it, you can have it.
Yeah, and if not, then we don't.
Maybe we'll leave it behind.
We'll leave it in the car. And, you know, I always say better safe than sorry, right? If Lori thinks that's a piece of rain gear, one is better than the other, then she's going to tell you, and she's going to keep you the safest way that she can. So better to bring it and ask questions than to leave it behind.
You're at home going, oh, I really want this pants and I really want this pants and just can't decide, then bring them both and we'll tell you that this is a better pair that, you know, looks like it will dry better. And so again, you can throw in whatever you want. We can discuss it that night.
I've had 2 ladies come, and because they were so concerned about having too much, that they didn't have clothes to wear home. So don't do that. Don't do that. We want clean, fresh clothes to wear home and know that they just stay in the car. And so it's okay.
We always take a shower when we come out of the woods at the outfitter. Yeah, and they provide towels and everything. so we don't have to worry about bringing that. So packs, tents. Then in terms of packing, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
In terms of packing, I want you to know that you're going to be packing into like Ziploc bags. Now, just an aside for everybody, Katie has really a lot of experience with this. So she's definitely going to be helping everybody else because she's been going up there a long time. Did you get to go up as soon as your brother did?
I went up there when I went up in, I don't know, probably before Pete because we're 4 years different. So I think I went up when I was in high school, when like a freshman in high school. So what is that, 14?
Yeah, with your dad?
No, with Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
We did a 2-week trip.
Yeah, I thought maybe it wasn't with your dad. So Katie has a lot of experience, and she's been going there throughout the years too. You've had many trips since, because obviously that was a long time ago that you were.
A really long time ago.
Yeah, a really long time ago. Anyway, just kind of nice background info.
Do you have examples of the other bags that you and I use?
This is a Ziploc bag.
No, I meant the other ones that you and I use. Just because some people will invest in and show them what you don't have it.
Yeah, I do, but you plugged me in and that didn't work too good. Hear me now?
Ooh.
No, now we've got terrible static.
Yeah, I'll move my stuff closer, so maybe I can reach it. I didn't expect to.
I made her plug into headsets. And so now
I thought I could walk around and stuff. Anyway, I own these dry bags, and I have some extras I'll be passing out.
Hold it up higher over your face so people can see. There you go.
These are dry bags that, I use now because I go so often. LuAnn goes so often that, like, why wouldn't we have that equipment? But these work well as well. I've been using these since I was a kid, Ziploc bags. So that's what we'll provide, as many of those as you want. Usually you use 2 or 3, and perhaps I have extras of these as well. So that's another option. LuAnn is saying if that's something you wanted to invest in, you could, but you completely do not need to do that. Correct. We show you things that we have, but you don't need that much, believe me. And I try to be very cautious about people having to spend more money than they already have. So if there's something you want, you can do whatever you want, but you do not need it. Okay, so a quick note, because when we're packing, is that we're going to go over, again, this whole webinar is to say maybe we won't have to work so hard Friday night if you have prior knowledge of some of the things we want you to know. So that's why we're setting up this webinar. And one of those things that we will need people helping each other with is that when you're packing and you want to bring your stuff and you want to fit it in a small space, then air is your enemy. And you want to get all the air out. So we fill a Ziploc and then we sit on it and zip it. So we get as much air out as possible so it can go into a small space. And then same with rolling like a sleeping pad. Sleeping bags are always stuffed. But when you roll a sleeping bag, you want to roll it twice. So the first time you roll it, and I'll demo this, but just keep it in mind that you want to say, Lori, show me that again. You roll it once, you close the valve, and then you go back and roll it again. And as you get to the end, there's a whole bunch of air that was still in there that's now built up. You open the valve and let it out, and your sleeping pad is a lot smaller than it would be if you only rolled it once. So sometimes you find your sleeping pad bag is pretty small, but that's because you can get it into that bag, even though it's not as easy as it might look when you're not experienced. So one of the things to remember, air is your enemy. Cool. So that's something we'll practice, and Katie knows all that, and she'll help. Right, same thing. She'll help practice. Then moving on to, I told you guys your packing partners, right? And I'm just going to say to the people who are going to be watching this tomorrow that Roxanne and Julie will be packing partners, and then Katie and Callie, as I said, and then Marika and I. So that's kind of how we set up. And again, that's based on being in the same tent as well. So you have your stuff together, not too far away. Moving on, in terms of canoe partners, I want to know, to this group of 8, I'm looking for the next most experienced sternsman. Katie, you're already counted as an experienced sternsman, but we need one more stern. You're already counted.
I know.
So
we have 3 and we need 4.
Yeah, so when you guys are listening to this, email me if you have and tell me about your canoeing experience. You're going in the bow, Rosie. Just saying. And we'll take turns. So we like to change. One day
we'll give lessons and give lessons and help people learn to be in the stern. It's just about understanding where people are at.
Right, Saturday morning we're going to jump in canoes, and we have to,
who we're going to start with.
And we have lessons along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so any questions about that? My list is going well. Bro?
Not in a wilderness like that. I have canoed before, but not in.
Yeah, so you have some experience in the
canoe.
So,
Roisin, in a river?
More of a lake.
Okay, and big difference?
Yeah, big moving. Not a lot of moving water. Only once in a canoe in moving water.
So we're traveling through lakes. So that means you've had some experience in a lake, right?
Yes.
And rivers are different because of the moving water. Yeah, absolutely. But good to know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe if they say none, but I don't think that there's none in the cousins, right? Yeah, Katie, I think those guys have done.
She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm thinking but I don't know. Yeah.
Neither. So we'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, then moving on to the portages a little more. We often downplay the portages because we don't think they're hard, but we've found that we need to be a little more assuring people that this is strenuous. It's too late; you can't get out of it now. But I'm just, that it's strenuous, but we always help each other, right? So there's packs that are heavy, there's other packs that are light, and a lot of times we're going to take that light pack first, especially the first day, and then you go find out what you're up against, and then when you come back, you pick up the heavy pack, and they're heavy, right? We help each other pick them up, so you're not expected to say, oh, I got to get this heavy food pack on by myself. So we always travel as buddies. And that goes also with the way we carry canoes. We help each other with the canoes. My husband can take the canoe, throw it on his shoulders, and walk away. But I can't do that. I can carry a canoe for hours. I can't pick it up by myself. And so we work together as partners. So we just made a video out when we were out in the woods last time. Is that something we can send these guys?
Absolutely.
And again, we'll have time to have a lesson on carrying the canoe and the way we do it as partners. Still only one person's carrying it at a time. And Roisin, someone like yourself, you might say, I want to learn to do that because you were capable of it. And you might say, that didn't feel too good. I think I'll just carry packs. I'm good. Right? This trip, I have many people that are going to be able to carry the canoes. Callie's probably stronger than all the rest of us.
I don't think that's a maybe. I think that's a definite.
Maybe. Besides that, she's quite a bit younger. She also is a rancher and works every day hauling really heavy things. So we know. Kudos to you, Callie, but we know we'll be happy to have her along. We can do it with, anybody, but as we know, right, Lou?
Right.
But we make it work. But the important thing is for safety, we stay together. So we tend, once we feel good about this, we tend to start going by yourself, and we'd like to discourage that. Because you might feel strong, Katie, and then somebody else is like by themselves in the woods wishing they had their partner with them. Mm-hmm. And also, neither us, LuAnn or I, we don't want to put the canoe down by ourselves. That's just hard on the canoe. You know, generally, I've been doing pretty good about controlling the down without dropping it. Mm-hmm. But it's heavy enough that it's easier. Somebody, you know, helps with it, and that's much better for the canoe. So that's really a key point, and that's what our video will show how to carry it. We'll practice that. But that's another reason why I always take the lightest pack first, because then if Rogine and LuAnn are walking together down the portage, and LuAnn's carrying the canoe, but she needs a break, or she needs help, or she needs to readjust her straps or whatever, right? Then Rogine she doesn't really hold the canoe, just in a bridging where the canoe is actually on the ground, and you're what we call bridging it, and that's going to be in the video we'll send you to. Or you'll learn it next week, no big deal. But it's not hard to bridge it, and then you give LuAnn a break, and then she takes the canoe back again. So that's really why the partner is another very important. But if you had some huge pack on, Rogine, that you can't pick up by yourself, and you're with just LuAnn who has a canoe on, that's not going to work. So you have to have a light enough pack that first time through with the canoe partner. Okay? That's our buddy system. I have a little note that I'm talking safety now, because I consider our buddy system a safety system. Safety-wise, you know, we have as much. I did take the emergency wilderness first aid course as to benefit my trips like this, so that I could be helpful. I also, you know, have a really good first aid kit and so forth. So we've been very, very fortunate to not have had any really serious injuries. We've had a few ankle wraps going on, so I'm getting some new ankle wrap this time. One thing we have added to our repertoire is we have something called a spot, and it's a GPS locator. And what it does, it has 3 functions. One of the functions is a button that if you push it, a helicopter's coming. And you don't want to push that. That's a life or death button push, because it probably costs $1 million. When Fritz learned at his, you know, outdoor leadership school about the buttons, they said, just consider that's $1 million button. But if somebody needs to get rescued right now, then it's worth pushing it, right? So that's one button that we hope to never use. Then there is a button where you can call, and you had to preset it, and it can call like the outfitter and say something like, you pre-write it, so it would say, coming back early, meet me 24 hours. Because then they could pick you up, or because some situations, right, you get a ride out too. That's another one. Then the other button is just kind of for fun, and it is sending an email to your friend, to your husband, and saying, hey, we're doing great, we're feeling good, and we're having a great time. Whatever I write in there. So I do want an email of your significant other, or whoever you want to send that message to. I mean, if I do it like I'm planning to get it done before the night before, like I did last time, we could send a note to your kids too. I mean, it's just a matter of typing in their emails, and then everybody gets the same message. It's kind of fun. And the other cool part, especially for Katie, because your kids know the area, they actually get a GPS locator. Like, this is the spot they're in. So like when Savannah got it the first time we used the spot, she was like, she didn't get to come with us, right? But she was able to go, oh, I know that campsite. That's our favorite, you know? So it was kind of fun for her to know where we were. So anyway, that's really for safety. What?
Can you take that email address off our emergency contact form that we returned?
Yes, I can do that. And so really, I already know you.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that would be, I would figure that I would put your husband down.
Yep.
Is there? Yeah. And if there's somebody else you want me to send it to just for fun, you can send me another email, okay? And same with everybody else who's listening. Maybe, 3 or 4 if you wanted your kids, but if not, just your significant, your emergency contact, I'll definitely do. That's a good
And
way
that's
to look at it.
just a reminder for everyone to send me their emergency contact medical release information and travel activity release information. So I don't remember off the top of my head who sent it. So consider this a reminder that.
Yeah. So, LuAnn, would you prefer to have it sent to you ahead of time versus me bringing it with me? Would you prefer to have it?
Either one is fine, as long as you make sure you bring it.
Okay, I've already got it on the top of my pile for things to go, but I could also send it to you.
Yeah, that's great.
No, just bringing it is fine. But I need the emails.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
Lori, I don't know how much you have left, but for some reason my system is telling me that it's going to cut us off in 3 minutes, and so I want you to be aware of that. I don't know if it's gonna, because it really shouldn't.
That's why I talked about that stuff first. So that's good. So these guys stay on if they want to, or
yeah.
I don't know what will happen in 3 minutes. But what I was just going to say is LuAnn will send out the video so that you get a shot to see our little canoe carrying video that we made, and at least the scenery is beautiful at where we made this video. The other thing I want to go over is a little bit about the gear list, and there's just a couple things that are really important. And I've said this 100 times. Rain gear is number one. It is going to rain, and it will be cold in September if you're not dressed properly. So make sure you have rain gear that is rain proof, not rain resistant. So make sure if you're going to spend money on anything, you do it with the rain pants and the rain gear, right? And I want to emphasize that. And if you're concerned about what you're buying and you're not sure, you can always send me a picture, email me, or go read about it again online and make sure you know what you're getting. The other is foot gear. We're more and more encouraging people to wear boots. Did you buy new boots, Katie?
I have bought 2 pairs of boots now, both of which don't fit.
Working on that one.
So I'm into number 3.
And we're talking about like ankle support, so that when you're walking in rocks, you're really feeling good about where you're stepping and having control. You don't want, a lot of people like Keens, but I more and more don't like them because they're just slippery, and when you go through the mud, sometimes you lose one. So something, especially a tie shoe, is important. And those
Keens are what?
No. Oh, I thought she was cutting me off.
My Keens, I can't stop it if it does it. So everybody can just jump back on if it cuts us off, okay? Just so you know.
Can I tell one more thing that might still fit in here?
Yep.
That is, I did send you a new list that I called the September list. And what I added to the September list was one more warm layer. And my extra warm layer is going to be a fleece vest because it's a core warmth, right? And that's my choice. So my niece has this really nice puffy down jacket that's like called a down sweater. She loves that. She would bring that. Because it also, you have to think about how small it can get. You don't want to bring your bulkiest thing, right? So we're going to try to fit everything in, but I want you to think about that when you're choosing what your next layer is.